This place is amazing, was all I could muster gazing at the vast campus of the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. I had always enjoyed the military ever since I was in kindergarten. Days and nights seemed to blend together whenever I went to the Military History Channel and spent hours upon hours of time watching documentaries about the Revolutionary War and the two World Wars. One reason I liked these wars was because the Revolutionary War started the U.S. Navy, and the two World Wars perfected it. I was always fascinated at the bravery and intelligence shown by naval officers and their subordinates. The Pacific theater of World War II was my favorite conflict of all time. Learning about the two largest and most experienced navies duking it out to determine the fate of the Pacific was the coolest thing I had ever wanted to learn about. I always wanted to be a sailor. In vivid dreams, I saw myself as the admiral of the U.S. Pacific Fleet during the Battle of Midway, with enemy planes plummeting into the vast blue ocean and the massive plumes of fireballs never a bomb or torpedo connected. My desire to be a sailor and eventually an admiral skyrocketed when I visited Pearl Harbor. However, it was at the Naval Academy when I realized something. I really want to go to the Naval Academy, and if I do not get in, I want to at least join the Navy. It was a chilly spring morning, and my parents and I were on a weekend excursion to Annapolis. We planned to attend the Kunta Kinte Festival, to tour downtown Annapolis, and to visit the United States Naval Academy. Since, like true Dixons, we arrived early for our tour of the Naval Academy, we wandered throughout the exhibits in the visitor center, occasionally stopping to read an excerpt, to examine a picture, or to watch a video. As the tour commenced, our tour group traveled through the pool and wrestling areas. Since I was a wrestler, I gaped in awe at the high ceilings and the padded mats that created the wrestling room. Even though the wrestling room was not that big, I pictured myself and a partner going at it in preparation of a big match. We then explored the chapel, which houses the remains of John Paul Jones, the dorm building, and the STEM building. As we passed by the cafeteria, we were informed by the tour guide that it was the largest cafeteria in the world up until a larger one was built in Russia. Suddenly, like connecting the final pieces of a puzzle, I realized that I really liked this place. The tour guide then declared that the Naval Academy is an engineering school, and since I have always wanted to be an engineer, once he said that, my heart rate started to increase. My brain was trying to comprehend the information, like a jury discussing a verdict. Even though my fingers and toes were almost numb, I started to feel hot. Finally, with utmost certainty, my brain proclaimed, "This is the place for you." Though there are pros and cons with joining the Naval Academy, like it having one of the lowest acceptance rates in the world, at 8.5%, collegefactual.com says that just over 1,000 of the roughly 16,000 applicants are enrolled each year. Additionally, there is the issue of war. Since tensions between the US and countries like North Korea are high and only getting worse, the potential of war breaking out is not unrealistic, and I do not know if I can withstand the horrors of war or the thought of dying. However, I have always wanted to see myself in a uniform. The Naval Academy will enormously contribute to my career goals. I am considering 3 different career paths: military, engineering, and piloting, and all of them will benefit from the Naval Academy. My military goal is to be a high-ranking military officer. I have always wanted to be named Fleet Admiral of the United States Navy, the highest-ranking naval officer. I would love to have the responsibility of making decisions and creating strategies that affect the entire United States Navy. I want to be a mobile fleet admiral who does not sit behind a desk all day. I want to be in the thick of it with a ship of my own. On the other hand, if I do not become a high-ranking naval officer, another career path is piloting. I have always wanted to become a pilot since I was 8 years old, and since Navy pilots are among the best in the world, they receive similar training to Air Force pilots. However, Air Force pilots do not have to take off and land on a moving object. Former Navy pilots who plan on flying commercially are among the first picked by major airlines. Finally, if by some reason I decide that a career in the Navy or being a pilot is not the life for me, I can always be an engineer. And since the Naval Academy is an engineering school, I would not have many problems getting a job. But if I do not get into the Navy, well, there's always the Air Force.